Hi, my name is Renee Rizzo. This will be a teacher-facing video which will guide you through my adaptation of Passport to Social Studies, Grade 8, Unit 5, Day 28. I chose to adapt this lesson, although I teach high school students in alternate assessment settings, because Passport to Social Studies also focuses on U.S. history at the 11th grade level. There are relevant lessons in the 4th, 7th, and 8th grade Passport to Social Studies curriculum that address U.S. history at a level that is often more developmentally appropriate and accessible for students in alternate assessment settings. In this video, I will be using Nearpod and demonstrating the various features it offers to make lessons more immersive and engaging. So, the Patriot Act. Focus question, and I took this focus question straight from the original lesson in Passport to Social Studies. What responsibilities does America as a superpower have to the rest of the world? I also took this lesson objective straight from the original lesson. Analyze, evaluate, and debate the Patriot Act's consequences and its effects on American society. The standards that I believe are addressed in this lesson. Next generation for grades 11 through 12, RH7. Integrate and evaluate multiple sources of information presented in diverse formats and media, e.g., visually, quantitatively, as well as in words, in order to address a question or solve a problem. The DLM essential element, EERI 11 through 12.7. Analyze information presented in different media on related topics to answer questions or solve problems. The introduction model, which I also drew directly from the original lesson. Following the 9/11 attacks, the U.S. government introduced a series of measures designed to surveil and protect the homeland. So you might want to break it down for your students and explain that surveil means to watch closely. Um, Among the measures adopted, the Patriot Act turned out to be one of the most controversial measures taken by the US government. And you might want to stop here and explain what controversial means, that not everyone agreed that this was a good idea. In this class session, you will learn about and evaluate some of the effects of the Patriot Act. So, the following two cartoons were also included in the original lesson. So, support for the war falling. So, in this cartoon, there is an Uncle Sam looking character with Patriot taped over his eyes and Act taped over his mouth. And what looks like a government employee here with that tape that says Patriot Act. And he says there, that should help. The next cartoon, Liberty and the Patriot Act. We see a picture of the Liberty Bell with words around it. Warrantless wiretaps, online monitoring, business record dragnets, private property searches, electronic surveillance, and domestic spying. So I created a quiz based on these cartoons. What is the message of these cartoons? And the answers I provided. A, the Patriot Act is necessary for our safety. B, the Patriot Act violates our rights and our privacy. Or C, the Patriot Act is not powerful enough. So you can go over with your students that obviously the creator of these cartoons, or the creators, had a negative view of the Patriot Act. And the correct answer here, based on the evidence, would be B. The Patriot Act violates our rights and our privacy. This introduction model was also taken from the original lesson. The Patriot Act was passed in the months following the terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001. The act was designed to strengthen the government's power in anti-terror investigations. The act's more controversial provisions include the government's broad authorization to tap phones, access emails, financial records, and other internet data, search people's homes without their consent or knowledge, and indefinitely detain immigrants. Two presidents, Bush and Obama, upheld the law, and Congress has extended it several times. The surveillance powers of the Patriot Act needed renewal by March 15, 2020, and after it expired, the U.S. Senate approved an amended version of the bill. After then President Donald Trump threatened to veto the bill, the House of Representatives issued an indefinite postponement of the vote to pass the Senate version of the bill. The Patriot Act remains expired. So here is a poll I created so students can vote. Do you think the Patriot Act was necessary to keep America safe? Yes or no? And then after students answer, the votes can be tabulated and they can see how their other classmates or the majority of their other classmates voted. Another poll question. Now, these questions were kind of included in the original lesson, but they were not polls. This is how I adapted it. So the government should be able to access your cell phone data. A, 1, strongly agree. B, 2, agree. C, 3, it doesn't concern me. D, 4, disagree. E, 5, strongly disagree. So once again, students can see how their peers voted. Next question. And I reduced the amount of questions from the original lesson. These are from the original lesson, but I left out some other questions. So if the government suspects someone to be a terrorist, they should be held without a trial until the government is sure they are not terrorists. So once again, A, strongly agree. B, agree. C, it doesn't concern me. D, disagree. Or E, strongly disagree. Next, citizens have a right to know everything the government does, and the same options for the rate at which students agree or disagree with that statement. Next, safety is more important than privacy, and the same rankings of whether they agree or disagree. Our rights are not important during war times. Students, once again, have the option to respond to that and to see the votes of their peers. Finally, I sum up the lesson with 2 open-ended questions, the first of which, how has your thinking about privacy, government surveillance, and the threat of terrorism changed or deepened? Now, students can answer this individually, or you could do it in a class discussion, which I would probably recommend. And the next one, do you think the Patriot Act or any aspect of it is necessary? Why or why not? So just for review, this was a teacher-facing video which guided you through my adaptation of Passport to Social Studies Grade 8, Unit 5, Day 28. I chose to adapt this lesson, although I teach high school students in alternate assessment settings, because Passport to Social Studies also focuses on U.S. history at the 11th grade level. There are relevant lessons in the 4th, 7th, and 8th grade Passport to Social Studies curriculum that address U.S. history at a level that is often more developmentally appropriate and accessible for students in alternate assessment settings. In this video, I used Nearpod and demonstrated various features it offers to make lessons more immersive and engaging. Thank you for watching.